Hi.
Hi!
Yeah.
Oh, this worked out so well.
I know.
Usually
Wait, I'm
when...
just fixing my camera. My face is so close.
No, I love that. I was so worried because you said you haven't done it before, and then sometimes like I go online and it takes people a while to get on, and I just don't know what to say while I'm sitting here alone waiting.
That's how I feel when we do our Zooms. I'm always like, yes, we're waiting for everybody. Like, let's make some small talk and then talk about random things that aren't important until everybody joins.
Yeah,
How
exactly.
you doing?
I'm good. Yeah, I'm good. I think, it's a big time of change, but I think it's good.
Yeah, totally. I agree with
Yeah.
you. I agree with you. I saw your last 5 minutes with was so good.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, it was really special. I had asked Ashley before already to do it like a while ago, and we finally made it happen. So it felt like perfect timing. I mean, it would have been perfect timing either way, but it
Yeah,
worked out really well. Yeah.
yeah, totally. I see people. Hi,
I love this. All right, but then, as usual, we're gonna do 5 minutes unedited. So I'm gonna start timer, and I'm gonna ask you some questions, and I'm
Daniel.
really looking forward to hear what you have to say.
Okay. I'm excited to do it in 5 minutes. We'll see how I do.
You're gonna do great. I'm very excited. Okay, so the first question is always is tell us about yourself, what you do, and maybe a little bit how you got there as well.
Yeah, so I currently run a company with my husband. He used to be a stylist. It's called Light, and basically it streamlines the sample trafficking process between designers and PRs and stylists and editors. We can kind of get into that a little bit later, but prior to that, I was a magazine editor for like 10 years. I worked at Harper's Bazaar. I also freelanced for Wall Street Journal, T Magazine. I got my start at InStyle magazine in Australia. I'm Australian, but I've been in New York for 10 years. So that's a little bit about me in like 30
Yeah.
seconds.
So now you're a real New Yorker.
I guess so. It'll be 10 years in October. So maybe, but I think it takes like 20 years until you can really say you're a true New Yorker, you know?
Yeah. All right. Awesome. So, why don't we jump into it and like, why don't you tell us a little bit how the COVID and lockdown and everything has changed the way that you work?
Yeah, so a little bit more about light so you can understand how we change
Yeah.
things. I know that you know it, Karina. So for everyone else, Karina and I actually work together through light. Like I said, I started it with my husband. He was a stylist for like 10 years and an assistant, and I was an editor, and we both experienced the like time consuming and often frustrating, painstaking process of making a sample
Yeah.
request. We were like, there's got to be an easier way to do this that uses tech to make it faster for stylists and also easier and faster for designers and PRs or sales showrooms, anyone that's handling samples.
Mm-hmm.
So really the core of our business was all about tech and making it faster for a stylist to make that initial sample request. It's like
Yeah.
you get a forte for them. Super, super simple. You fill out a form, click the samples you want to borrow and hit send request. And then on the other side, you know, the designers or the PRs can approve everything. We hold all the samples and get them out to the stylists on the days that they need them. So we like to say it was really funny because our entire business strategy was based on getting samples to stylists for shoots and making that as easy as possible. But we
Yes.
can't count on every single photo shoot being cancelled. Like when
Oh my gosh.
there are no photo shoots. So for us, it's been really interesting in learning about, you know, I think how the fashion industry is going to change. We spent a lot of time thinking about that in the beginning. And we also tried to look at what other strengths we had and could offer to our clients. So we kind of pivoted what our offerings were a little bit.
Yeah.
You know, we built Light. It's a tech platform. So we were doing website audits. We have an amazing community, both of stylists and editors and people like yourself that we work with. So we started doing weekly Zoom sessions for our clients with guest speakers, which was really popular.
Yes.
Kind of,
I've logged into all your Zoom sessions. I love them all so much.
thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm so glad. That makes me so happy. It's really amazing, I think, to speak to all these different people and see how they not only handle a crisis, but also plan for the future. And that's what we're obsessed with, is like, what are the next years going to look like? What are people need? Like, also speaking to customers, like, what what challenges are they facing, and how can we help provide a solution to that?
Yeah. So, yeah, why don't you tell us more? Because those Zoom sessions were so great, and obviously you have such a good direct insight into the industry as well. Like, what were some main takeaways that you've learned during this time?
Yeah, it's the Zoom sessions have been fascinating.
Yeah.
Also love sending, we also send a recap email after the Zoom sessions that kind of just goes through the most important points.
Mm-hmm.
And I really noticed after doing about 6 of them, ranging from one of my amazing friends who's the fashion market director at Matches, to another friend who has a consulting agency, who does more like digital storytelling, to another friend, sales agency, to an editor at WWD. All of them kind of had the same consistent advice, which I thought was amazing. Like, all of these incredible people really were on the same core kind of values and thoughts, to convey to other designers or clients in order to make a really strong business. And a lot of them really revolved around consistency. So whether that's consistency through like your visual language and what your branding looks like on your Instagram or your emails, or anything like that, like, you have to be consistent in your messaging. I think the most important thing, though,
But we're gonna keep going. No, let's keep going.
I think first and foremost, though, the most important thing all of them said, and this is something that I think every business in fashion or outside of needs to think of, is, what is your reason why? Like, as a brand, what are you doing to exist? Why the product? Because especially now, I think after COVID and after the last few weeks, like, you can't really just make a product. You have to have values behind it. You have to have a really strong reason why you're doing what you're doing. And saying that is really, really important. And all of them said this, like, number one, have a really strong reason why. Have other values beyond, I couldn't find this type of earring and I wanted to make it. One of my good friends, Nita, she has an amazing beauty line called Less, and I think she does that really spectacularly. Like, her brand values are just imbued within her brand and her imagery and her language and everything. It's really clear. Something a lot of them also said that I thought was fascinating is to keep it really simple, but make thing really, really punchy and poignant. Like, you don't need to do 50 million things. Like, maybe focus on, 2 key retailers and your direct to consumer channels and you're on Instagram, but you make the content that you're providing in them really service focused, really interesting, and strong. And then I think the other thing that, to kind of round it out, is that listening to your customer is key, and connecting with them is so, so important. Like, I can't tell you how many of them said, 80% of your sales or your communication is going to come from 20% of your customers. I mean, you know this so well. Them, like, and all of them were like, make it personal, like, send an email, connect with them, ask them what they want. But I would say every single speaker said all of those things, which was crazy.
Yeah, I kind of noticed that too. There was definitely a common thread in all of those.
It was so interesting.
So interesting. Okay, well, we're out of time, but I want to ask you one more question.
Sure, and I feel like I'm talking too much, but
no, this has been so good and so insightful. I think, like, if you had a magic wand, what would be your one wish for the fashion industry coming out of this and going forward? And just like one wish that you see, one change.
Yeah. I think my one wish would be that I think older establishments could be more open to change. I think a lot of them, and I mean open to change in the fact that they actually take more action. A lot of them say a lot of things, then it doesn't actually happen. And I mean this across all areas, whether it's in diversity, whether it's in embracing tech, like obviously our business is about asking people to take a big leap forward and embrace a new technology that is going to make their lives easier. Whether it's about inclusion or changing the way that things are done. Fashion loves newness in terms of a new brand and a new collection and like what's new. But I think when it comes to like those embedded traditional systems, they're not so open to changing those. I think like Bazaar, you know, starting to work with Samira as the new editor-in-chief, like amazing step forward. Like they're making a big, like that's what we need to keep seeing. I think that it's happening. So I kind of feel that this time is exciting. But my wish is that, they really action it, because I think startups and new brands and like people like you and I, they're like, okay, what's new? What's the future? Let's do it.
Yeah, exactly.
But you need that kind of old guard to be like, we're committing for all of it to really change.
No, I absolutely agree. And I'm in pre-spring market right now.
Right.
And we've already implemented some new things, and whenever people complain about something, like that they wanted to go back to the old way, I'm just like, no, if we could only master this, it could be so much better for everyone and so much more sustainable, you know, like we have to keep moving forward. We can't like just keep wishing that we go back to our old ways of free market and buying and all that. So
have you seen a lot of changes in the buying sector? Like now that you're actually in market, is it all, so I know we spoke about it for a long time, like what it would look like, but now that it's in action, are you seeing it be successful, or like how is it actually happening?
I mean, so it's happening digitally. I built out a whole website for the showroom. It's like a sales showroom, and
wow.
Did it all myself. It took me forever, and I want to make it even better for September. And the people that embrace it and like actually go on the website and they're checking things out, they actually really like it. And like at first people are a little hesitant, but once they get on there, they're like, oh, this is super easy, and they can like place an order right there, and it's super easy. But I am feeling that there's a pushback for people to actually like go on there. But yeah, I'm in market and I'm doing video appointments, and mostly, honestly, I feel like mostly the video appointments are just for me to like walk them through the website, and then as soon as they understand how it works, they're like, oh yeah, this is great, this is so easy and so good, you know. So yeah, there's definitely, it's just different, you know, nothing's happening in person, and I don't believe it will for September either. So yeah, I'm just really looking forward to everybody embracing that, you know?
Do you think that it will be a change that will continue into like next year, into 2021 as well? Like, will it remain digital? Are people going to prefer that to the in-person meetings?
That's a really good question. I think there's an opportunity there. We just need to push for it hard enough for people to get used to it, you know?
Yeah.
And I think that maybe if we'll be forced, obviously we're forced to do it this season, and if we were going to be forced to do it in September, maybe come January, I think people will still want to do the in-person appointments because it's nice to see the product or try on the shoes, you know, or touch the fabric.
Mm-hmm.
But I think people will be more open to like checking brands out online, and yeah, so I don't know. I'm thinking.
I'm very, very impressed you built your own website for someone who deals with.
Oh, it's just like a little Shopify thing, but it's cute.
No, it's very impressive, honestly. Kudos to you. That is a lot of work. I want to see it now.
I'm gonna show you. Yeah.
Okay, good.
That's amazing. Well, thank you so much. This was so good.
This was so fun. I can't believe it's over already.
I know.
Thanks for having me, darling. So
Thank
fun.
you.